What's poppin', what's dropping? This your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. Based off of the evidence that I saw, Fred from Barbershop Conversation is full of shit. Point blank, period, and end of discussion. He's full of shit. For him to do TicketTv like that, because I just got through listening to the video. I don't think he was on the line 5 minutes. He full of shit. And I don't think anybody should take Fred from Barbershop Conversations seriously anymore. I'm just being dead honest. You know, we people in the black media, new media, from Dante's Boxing Nation to really the entire LDBC, because people fuck with Fred from the entire LDBC, and for him to slap TicketTv in the face, because basically he slapped TicketTV in the face, and he slapped the LDBC in the face, and he been slapping the LDBC in the face, but I'm not gonna say we, but I'm more like an affiliate, but this is not for me. This is not me starting a beef with. This is not me starting a beef or stirring up a beef. This is me telling facts. He's been slapping the LDBC in the face for a good minute, because he's always been on the coon train. Let's just keep this 1,010. Let's shame the devil and tell the truth. That nigga always been a coon. Let's just keep it 1,010. Some of the shit he would say, you would have to go all the way back to really catch it. And if you listen to some of the things he say, it's coonish. You know, shit like, well, I'm not a fighter, and all that other bullshit. You know, that's low-key coonish. That's submissive coonish behavior. Now, it might not be, you know, I'm not saying a person got to act hard or act like he's a balls to the wall nigga, but I'm just saying this nigga's always been a coon. When dudes start talking about he's not a fighter, a grown ass man talking about he's not a fighter, and I'm not saying you got to be hard, but that's some things you just don't say. Another thing, case in point, he's been saying a lot of really fuck shit for a minute. You know, he was taking shots at the LDBC when they invited him on a Smoke City podcast and was saying how emotional they are. You know what I'm saying? To tell another grown man they emotional, that's some disrespect shit. You know. Now if the dude is, that's something you don't say that publicly. I'll say that that's something you pull somebody to the side and say, and first of all, for Fred to have Jason Whitlock on the damn show, on his show, after talking about power to the people, I'm biggity big black, y'all. It was a red flag in itself. That's just a red flag in itself. The fact that he would have a buck dancing, sambo shuffling coon on his platform, that was a red flag in itself. I would get if somebody like Tariq had somebody on there just to destroy him, to debunk his conversation. Somebody like a Neely Fuller, somebody that is has put in work for the community. I would even understand if 78 Sports had him on there, because he would get destroyed within the LDBC confines, because 78 does speak on black issues from a philosophical standpoint. I wouldn't mind seeing TicketTv have Jason Whitlock on there, because he speaks from a philosophical standpoint. Call him emotional if you want to. One thing you can't call him is a buck alley, buck dance, and sambo. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he hung up in his face the way he did, he could have been like, hey, I gotta let you go. He didn't even give him a warning. He just hung up in his face. And that was some bitch ass shit. Again, I'm not a member of the LDBC, but I fuck with those people over there. And I fuck with them tough. QuestX, you my nigga. Coshon Harrison, you my big homie. TicketTv, you my nigga. You know what I'm saying? 78, that's the big homie. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, I don't always agree with members of the LDBC, but like I say, you the homie. Beverly Rose, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? She's helped grew my channel the way they grew it. You know what I'm saying? With help of Coach Sheldon and a few other people. But, yeah, I mean, Fred been cooning. We should not be surprised at that. Cali Enigma, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm not quote unquote LDBC per se, but I fucks with y'all tough. Anybody from the LDBC, Money Brown, I fuck with everybody from the LDBC. But the thing is, a lot of members of the LDBC should have been warned about him years ago, because I specifically said that he comes across as a coon. I remember the exact words, he come across as a coon. I've said this in the presence of World Breaker. I've said this in the presence of Beverly Rose. From what I understood, it was around a couple of other LDBC members. If I'm not mistaken, I said this in the presence of Fanon. I think I've said this in the presence of him. I did, because I think he came on the show. But it was a few people that, if you remember correctly, I did say that, and I was telling my boy T Moore. T Moore is more familiar with it because I'm a lot closer to T Moore than other people in the LDBC, but nevertheless, you're still the homie. But T Moore, I've been telling T Moore for years, some of the shit this dude say is very coonish. Some of the things this dude say was coming off as real coonish, because after he got put out of the Golden Boy event, dude been kind of back alley buck dancing. Let's just keep this 1,010, man. Let's just keep this 1,010, man. And that's something you can't come back from, man. That says a lot. Fred does not have that spirit in him to really do an interview with the back alley buck dancing dude. He just doesn't. He doesn't have that, and he was doing a lot of co-signing with Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, all he was doing was throwing up deflections. He wasn't answering the question. He was very rude. He wasn't blatantly rude, but he was rude nonetheless on that show. When people criticized him, he couldn't even answer the damn question because he knows he's a buck dancing, sumo wrestling body ass coon. And then he talking about he eat 1 meal a day. Dude, that nigga, you ain't ate 1 meal a day since the 1970s, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude. But the fact that Fred did TicketTV untactfully, a very credible person, a very respected person around the YouTube community and the LDBC community, it says a lot about this motherfucker. It says a hell of a lot about this motherfucker. And, this is not a video I'm posting just to clout chase. It's just what it is. Let's just call this shit what it is. Let's call a spade, dude. Anytime a person like Fred, because Fred is very weak. Like Ticket said in his live stream, dude ain't built for that. Dude ain't built for that. When Tariq was having a conversation with somebody like Jesse Lee Peterson, he knew Jesse Lee was a fucking joke. And that's what Fred from Barbershop Conversations should have treated. He should have treated Jason Whitlock like a fucking joke. He should have treated him just like that. He knew Jesse Lee Peterson he knew Jesse Lee Peterson was a joke. And that's what he should have. He was trying to be all tactful, trying to co-sign everything. He was low-key co-signing what Jason Whitlock say, trying to speak from a logical position. No, you cannot be logical with a fucking coon. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, goddammit. You cannot be logical with a fucking coon. Because their arguments are canned arguments. Most of it is too easy to debunk. If you know anything about your history, if you know anything about, systemic racism and white supremacy, you know that 90% of the shit they gonna say is bullshit. So you gotta be one of those type of people that be like, okay, everything he says I'm gonna dust it off my shoulder. Everything he says, you're gonna have to destroy his argument the minute you get on the show. That's how you destroy a coon. So Jason Whitlock, aka Jason Shitlock, is a nothing burger. And all I see with Fred from Barbershop Conversations right now is campaigning to get on ESPN or Fox. That's the only thing I see out of barbershop conversation based off that interview. You can't be logical with a coon like that, especially if you're not strong at all. But Fred is not strong. He's not a strong person. He can say whatever he wants. He can brag about what type of person he is, but he showed himself right there. And I suggest any black person that cares about the community, don't unsubscribe to that motherfucker. If you care about your members of the LDBC, unsubscribe to that hoe. Because that's what I did. Only reason why I subscribed to Fred is because people from the LDBC vouch for him. When people vouch for somebody from the LDBC, I fucks with them. When the LDBC had some run-ins with wannabe members of the LDBC, I'm not gonna say no names. You know who the fuck you are. I start fucking with them because I know if, excuse me, I know if they have a problem with y'all, it's ultimately gonna become a problem with me. You know what I'm saying? Because we share a lot of the same ideology. So the thing is, with that being said, dude, Fred is just not y'all brother. And he's not cut from the same cloth, guys. But it is what it is. Once again, this your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how I do.